Welcome to the Waldorf Gridiron Club podcast, your home for all things football at Waldorf University, the best small college football experience in America. Hosted by Andy Buffington and me, Troy Thompson, from the secret bunker beneath Bullsdorf Field.
Welcome to this episode of the Waldorf Gridiron Club podcast. Well, Troy, that's a season.
It is. It was a season.
It was quite the season.
You know, we actually played 11 games.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And I for whatever reason thought it was just 10.
Well,
and because that made a great T-shirt logo, 0-10, never again. And I don't know if we'd make a lot of money on selling T-shirts like that, but the slogan seemed to fit. Now, 11 doesn't rhyme with anything.
0-11's not quite heaven.
Yeah. I mean, okay, I guess with 7 and okay, there's a lot of things that do rhyme with 11 now that I think about it.
Okay.
But it's not where I wanted it to go.
No, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, winless season. I don't know the last time that happened to Waldorf, but I do know that this is the first time that Waldorf has played in the best
That's
college football conference, college athletic conference in the entire United States of America.
Undoubtedly. And small private Christian colleges all around.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, from top to bottom, the programs were a class act. We didn't see some of the thuggery or anything like that, that we may have seen in the past. And I'll tell you what, from the coaches, that translates down to their players, just wonderful opportunities and experiences, figuring out what the DJAC's all about. Now, we only dipped our toe in the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got we got next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be staring us down before you know it.
Painful. It was a painful lesson in losing, but one that our team will never forget, and they can use to forge that steel that they need to get better. And they got better every game.
Well, they got hurt a lot.
They did get it. Now, there was one game, I'm trying to think of which one it was. And it might have been Dakota Wesleyan. They were here.
Yeah.
And I feel like we were not at our best in that game.
No.
There was a lot of mistakes and just kind of, I don't know what happened there. But I think overall we got better in every aspect of the game.
Yep.
And it's a young team, which is like the perennial excuse for anybody in any sport. They're like, if they're not winning, they go, we're a young team, and it's like, I know, but we are, and there's no doubt about that. And now you can see what that means. So you just say, well, then next year we're not going to be quite as young with the experience that we have. But, we are losing a number of seniors on the team, and they make an impact.
For sure. Yeah, they're leaders on and off the field. They've rode with this program through the highs and the lows, and
so is everybody else.
Yeah.
We were out at Dort on Saturday, and that was their senior day, their final regular season home game.
Of course.
And they, I think they had 40 some people also, 30 or 40. And Concordia had 40. And now these programs are about the same size as us. I think actually Northwestern and maybe Northwestern and maybe Morningside, maybe they're not maybe they are. I think everybody's around that 120, 130 mark.
Yep.
And so, what it tells you is their retention rate is very good.
For sure. Yeah.
And that's what it ought to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you've got 120 people, you should be graduating 40 seniors theoretically. And we've got a lot of things to get better at. And I think it's a healthy dose of reality, and I don't even say that negatively. I mean, my kid plays on the team. He's a little embarrassed that they didn't win a game, but he's not unhappy with the team or his teammates or the experience or all of the stuff that he learned. And I think that talking to some of the other players, that's how they feel too. And everybody's embarrassed they didn't win a game. But at the same time, they know what they've got going on. And all of them that we've talked to anyway seem to share the same thoughts that this was one of the better team experiences that they've had, the ones that have been around for a while.
Yeah, sure seems like it. And of course, we've got 2 teams in our conference made the 20-team playoff, group. Obviously, Morningside and Northwestern are back to see if they can compete for a national championship. And I was kind of hoping that we could pour 4 in there. I would have liked to have seen Dort and Concordia make it. Concordia for a lot of different reasons. I don't know why I was pulling for them so much this year. Just, they had all those seniors and, they
really felt like it was their year. I certainly think it was one of their best years they've ever had.
Yeah, for sure.
They were tied in a 3-way race for second with Dort and Northwestern. And I guess when they do that, they just go by the point differentials. And
talking to some of the coaches is that it's not necessarily just all mathematics. There's some I don't know. Again, it's a choice by a committee at the NAIA. There was 4 teams out of the Heart of America conference that made it this year. You got I believe Grandview's in it, like Baker's in it, obviously MNU and Benedictine. Those schools out of the Heart, which is directly to our south, they're good schools, they're good programs, and they're large as far as a conference goes, and so that they have a North and South division, and there they are, they're putting more teams in, and but still, you can say what you want about that conference, and obviously there's quality and there's class, but I don't think anything can compare to the GPAC. Just the culture that and I got to give props to our commissioner. He seems to be on top of everything. Just from hearing some background conversations, is that there's not a lot of disrespect. There's not a lot of things that go on with teams when they're on the road or at home or anything like that. So, I got to give props to the commissioner for just really expecting high level things from all those programs. From, it doesn't matter what, it doesn't matter if it's esports or football or volleyball or softball, basketball, baseball, you name it. There's a high expectation from him that says this is how we do things here in the GPAC.
Yeah. And that's a great standard to have to meet. And I think, we say we've got a lot of improving to do and a lot of growth on the team, but Waldorf's got some growth and some development to do too as a university. They're going to have to meet their peers, and that's on the other side of campus as well. On the academic side, you're in the GPAC, so that means you should be on par with all of these other programs. I'm not just talking about the sports, like your academics need to be on par with everybody else as well. And I feel like there are great programs at Waldorf. You and I are alum, we're biased. But look, there's room for improvement there too. So it's an all-in fight to get better, to be stronger, to be warriors, from the east end of campus to the west side. And that's a great position to be in. And look, there's nowhere to go but up for us,
for sure.
Yeah. So, I don't look at it as a downside. And these places, I was talking to Chad Gassman on Monday, and everybody was every team that visited us made comments about our fan base and about obviously our tailgating presence, the people that were there at the games. They're like, you guys haven't won a game. Why you got all these people out here? Well, it's not about that. Obviously, we like to win, and everybody wants to get the win, but we're there for the kids. We're there for the 100%. Program. We're there for the university on a Saturday and a place to be. Parents, are there to support their kids, but community members, it's like we've said for a long time, you come here, you're ours, so we want to support you. And we see that in other programs too. I know that they do that with the basketball players. Now, the kids are all gone. They had finals this week, and so now it's off to the races and back to home, wherever that happens to be, for about 14 weeks, a long spread, except for the basketball players. Those teams stick around.
Those guys are around.
They still are going to be here for a while, so get out to see some of those games while they're here. There's community members in Forest City that adopt those basketball players, so they got a place to watch the game, have dinner, just kind of feel like they're at home. home. And I think that's just a great example of what Forest City is all about. And that's why we're out there on Saturdays.
Yeah, for sure. And, again, the tailgate, the Gridiron Club, I'm just going to tell you right now, we're responsible for that thing to continue to grow. And, it's not just about feeding those guys after the game. It's about just creating an atmosphere that's a lot of fun. It's a place to go on a Saturday, get there in the morning and stay to the afternoon and watch good football. And, we need to continue as an organization, as the Gridiron Club, to elevate and not just say, well, that seemed to work good, last year. We got Euchre as he's the tag chair. And, I suppose at our next meetings, we're going to have to start dreaming about, we've got some money in the bank, not a ton, but enough where we can start looking at what can we do to support our program. What things do they need? From the equipment room, I've got a laundry list that would spend every penny of that tenfold. But at the same time, talking with the coaches and then figuring out how we're going to continue to just push that best small college football experience in America, because it's unique. And I don't think Warrior fans understand that. When you go to those other places, there's a few tailgaters here and there. Yeah. And I think your programs like Morningside, Northwestern, they bring people here in the Forest City, and they tailgate, and I think they had a great time.
Yeah, Morningside was right up there with us. They came up right up to the fence. I think that the chain gang guys were a little surprised that they were side by side, but they got there early. It's first come, first serve, and they were friendly, and they had a good time. They obviously have a very good program. For sure. But then, we represented like we always do, and so it was I did get a kick out of when I don't know if you were there at the end of the game. Well, the game was over. We'd already fed everybody. We were kind of tearing things down, and the Morningside folks were still. They had a giant kind of a crimson tent.
Oh, tent mahal.
Yeah,
that thing was huge.
It was pretty big, and then it caught the wind, and it flipped upside down, and it was on trucks. And
geez, I didn't know about that.
Yeah. So that was interesting, I guess. But they did that was a very windy day.
Super windy, rainy. Mm-hmm. At halftime, I quite literally went in and I had a jacket on that's somewhat water repellent, and I threw my stocking cap and my jacket and my sweatshirt and my gloves in the dryer during halftime.
Why not?
Yeah, I got 20 minutes
access for it. Yeah,
20 minutes of heat on that bad boy.
We should tell Andy, in case the listeners are 12 minutes into this thing and they're like, "Wait a second, where's do they have any guests?" The kids are all gone, and it made me think of that. I don't know if you've ever seen Spam a lot, but it's that the king is.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm all alone.
I'm all alone.
Have you ever heard that before?
I don't think I have.
Oh, okay. Well, you don't have to. Also, there's probably copyright rules I violated there. But yeah, I think I can get away with just a little sampling like that.
Yeah, does the FCC actually regulate this?
No, it's if I guess if Monty Python's lawyers were ever Eric Idle's lawyers, But if you play, I think if you play it and they say where it comes from, I'm giving them credit. YouTube's kind of crazy about that. I don't know. People realize you can watch. Well, I don't know. You just be watching our placard, but you can listen to this on YouTube. So YouTube is the one that sends me messages if I have a lot of things on there that they think are copyrighted. So I got to keep it down a little.
Oh, they're such a high class company.
Yeah. Well, they. Maybe we'll be on there next season. We're not going anywhere. We've done a great job of going this third season. We've done a great job discipline wise, making it happen every Friday. There was that one time where we were painting the bunker. That was like a 3-minute, hey, we're not doing this situation. But otherwise, every week. We're going to keep doing that, and maybe we'll get cameras in here, and I think that'll be kind of fun for people to see their kids too. But then that'll give us some experience, Andy, to learn. Just like, I started doing this podcast 3 years ago because I wanted to learn and test it out on this, and before I did my own
for the sunny side.
Yeah, so that was it's the same deal. Like we'll try the cameras out on this. We'll get good at it, and then when the Warriors live show comes around next season, we'll just take that over completely. And the
takeover.
We'll be the takeover.
I think we should.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I don't know how the KOW feels about that. We haven't. I guess if they listen to this show, they'll know. But
they can bid against us.
Yeah, they can bid. I feel like we do all the work, and I don't know what we get out of it. So I think the parents like it. I know we got a lot of parents that listen to this show. A lot of players listen to the show. A lot of people watch the Warriors live. They try to watch the Warriors live on Facebook.
Yeah,
and it's very difficult to hear.
We need to do a better job.
Do a better job on that.
So if we take it all over, folks, you can guarantee that.
Well, I won't put out a crappy product.
No, we're going to bring out a product that you can hear, you can enjoy it, and it's going to be a multimedia feast for the eyes.
Oh, a multimedia feast for the eyes.
Yes.
Fantastic. Fantastic multimedia
fantastic feast. For the drinking game. This is fantastic.
There it is. It's been a while since we've said that.
We really haven't jumped.
It was our crutch word at the first season.
God. Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, really?
Yeah,
exactly. Your cat died. Oh, that's fantastic.
Oh, man. Yeah. We even have it on some stuff. But
so,
I think we should take that over. I think.
Oh, yeah.
That was you talked about that, and I think we'll do that. Yeah, you let us know. Nobody ever texts the show, even though
text
it's right
the
there.
show. Let us know if you'd like the Gridiron Club podcast and the Gridiron Club to take over.
I was answering emails all season long about that and our live stream, which also is not ours. I just want you to know that's Waldorf University. So listen, if we get really good, maybe the Gridiron Club will take that over too. And
absolutely,
then look out. Here we go.
Exactly. I think
put on a gold jacket and go down there and interview the coach on the sideline. Like, how would Coach sell? Coach. He was more of a boxing guy.
Well, he sure was with Ali all those years.
Yeah,
for sure.
Anyway,
so I think we got some seniors to talk about. This is kind of our senior salute episode.
We've in the past we've kind of talked about the season, went game by game. But I don't really see a reason to do that. The record is 0-11.
Yep.
We have a 0% and 0-10 in the conference. And a loss streak of 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we get it.
Well, the streak is more than 11.
Oh, from last year.
Yeah.
But this year, though.
I think we're at 14 or 15. Since we've won a game.
Well, we're going to break that next year, right?
Absolutely, right out of the
I don't know what this calendar is. I never know what the schedule is until...
So I don't know either, but there was some people talking about it, and I think like they don't just change it every year. They do a flip.
Okay.
I don't know if it's so every other year if they mix it up or every 3 or 4 years. I don't know how the GPAC does it. So the teams, from what I understand, and again, do not take my word for it. This is what
we just have a mirror image.
Yeah,
in location.
Just
of
flip
this
it.
Season.
Yeah, that
would no St. Francis.
I really hope not. Chad Gassman, if you're listening to this, do not schedule.
We don't have a contract with St. Francis. Like we had a 2-year deal for they would go out. We went out there.
Well, and they violated their contract this year.
That's
6 o'clock kick.
We're not having it.
And we we would have Concordia come here first.
Yep, in the 0 week.
In the
they
zero.
Love it.
I know. And then let's do a 6 o'clock kick. I realize
do that.
Yeah, because I think that's what time we kick down there.
It's fair.
Yeah.
Well, they got cool lights down there though. They got those LED lights that can flash them and do all that.
Yeah.
A lot of those. Look, these are upgrades. Mm-hmm. They're coming.
Let's get there.
I mean, I don't know when, but we're getting there. Yeah.
Oh,
we'll get the trees in first, then we'll get the lights.
Yeah, that's coming tomorrow.
Yeah,
folks.
tomorrow. It's going to be a balmy 35 degrees for the high. And
let's hope we get some wind.
That's okay. We'll be moving around a lot, so it's okay.
I think so.
I like working outside in that kind of weather. It's not going to be too windy though. It'll be partly sunny, and then it'll just be cold. We're going to drop 29 trees, and we've got people with chainsaws that are skilled, and I feel confident and comfortable that they can drop trees safely. We've got a plan to do it. We're going to all meet at the DJAC at 8 o'clock in the morning. We're going to get it all started. We'll get a quick safety brief. We'll get people knowing what they're going to be doing. Well, the city's closing down the roads for us.
Oh, they did agree to that.
They did agree to it. I went to the city council meeting, and funny thing is, I was told by email email that I would be on the agenda, and then I was not on the agenda, but I still had the email. And then the mayor told me that because of public meeting laws that you can't make a decision if it's not on the agenda. But then his one of the council members, who was the former police chief, informed him that the police chief can, or the city supervisor can, or the street supervisor can just shut down a road whenever they want to, which made me think, why did I sit through this whole meeting and wait till the end for public comment?
Nice.
Yeah. But
well, that way you can see how government functions.
well, I will say they run an efficient meeting there.
Of course they do.
At the city. I watch all the county supervisors, and of course I see the school board stuff because I'm in that one. But yeah, they did okay. I was appreciative. It's a good safety thing for the citizens of Forest City listening to this that aren't going to be out helping pick up brush. Don't drive down John K. Hanson Drive from 8 to 4 tomorrow because it's going to be trees in the way.
Yeah. Or if you choose to go that direction, bring some gloves and a hat.
Bring some gloves, maybe bring a rake. Look, all we're going to do is cut these trees down. In case you're wondering, like, well, I'm not real comfortable. If you don't feel comfortable like running equipment or chainsaws, still got to move those branches off into just a pile, and then we pick them up with a skid loader that's got a grapple bucket on it, and we dump it in the trailers and haul it away. So just need people that can, drag branches into a pile, and so we can pick it up. That's
if
it.
You can run a rake, you can be part of the program.
Super easy. Yeah,
absolutely.
Sweep it right up. It'll be great.
Well, for sure.
Yeah,
well,
so
should
come
we start
out tomorrow if you
do that.
Do that. Yeah.
Well, and without any further ado, let's start talking about some of these kids that have
all right
played their last game.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or the Woo Ball.
There you go. I'm sorry. I've got it out.
No, it's all good.
My monitor here. But yeah, we'll start out. This is actually, we'll just go in the order that I announced it at the senior day because that's what the script does. It makes it easier jumping around. Justice Johnson.
Yeah, number 10. Yeah, number 10, Justice. Obviously, we had him on the podcast. We talked a little bit about his side gig. He's doing the power washing.
Yeah.
So,
Red Zone Power Washing.
Yep. So if for all your power washing needs, contact Red Zone Power Washing.
Power Wash Pros. That's he plans to take that to Gainesville, Georgia, head back home, and to do and to get that going. And his favorite memory is as a Warrior was beating Mayville State during their homecoming. And then it
was always good to beat somebody like Mayville back in the old North Star days. And Justice is one of those guys. He's not super loud. He's not afraid to say what he thinks. But always got a smile on his face. Justice is one of those dudes.
Absolutely.
He gave everything to Waldorf, again, number 10, wide receiver. Played a couple of years for us, and I think he came from a Minnesota school, did he not? I can't remember.
Maybe that's on our other episode. He had I could probably tell you, maybe. No, it doesn't. Yeah, Mesabi Range Community College.
Right. Way up north.
Yeah. Played 16 games, 5 last year, all 11 this year. He's got a total of 37 receptions. When you think about who we had in our receiver core last year, it's not hard to imagine how that number wasn't bigger. And then we spread it around quite a bit this year. I tell you what, though, when they threw the ball at Justice, I'd say most of the time he would pick those up. His average was pretty good. He 418 yards this season in receiving. That's what he did. The longest one was 38-yard reception. The longest gain was 42 yards this year. So yeah, he's been somebody that the defense has to deal with, and when that connection is made, it's fun. In fact, he had that reception in the game. I think it was Morningside. So with Morningside, he picked up a pass that was like, I thought it was on the ground.
Oh yeah, yep.
And he scooped it up before it got there. That was a big first down against the number 1 team. So yeah.
Absolutely big playoff team. And anyway, Justice is on his way out of town and going home and
see his mom
with family.
Crystal and Dad, Maurice, the siblings. I can't remember them all, but Koshan, Malik, Kanisha. If it wasn't written down, I wouldn't necessarily have all that stuff. But yeah, he loves his nieces too. And so that's a big deal. And he's heading home. Now, does he graduate in December, or does he graduate in the spring?
I'm hoping the spring.
Yeah.
Again, all these guys, we On Monday, we had last team meeting, and then, of course, a bunch of black trash bags to hand to them so they can take their stuff home. And you watch those guys, walk out for the last time, and it's pretty bittersweet.
Yeah,
they've given everything, but I'm really hoping to see all of them walk across that stage.
Absolutely,
and that's why we do this.
Yeah. So then we got Gerardo Caldera Hernandez. He's, of course, the long snapper for the Warriors. So we're losing our long snapper and our punter. We'll talk about him in a second, too.
Yeah.
But Gerardo with the Warriors all 4 years.
You bet. Also a baseball player. So,
yes, he is.
He's going to be here doing that. But number 40.
Yep.
He took his craft very seriously. Understood the importance of what he had to do.
He really did.
Yeah.
Really grew into it.
Yeah.
Came as a linebacker.
Yep.
Switched to long snapping and stuck with it, and really was dedicated to the special teams. Isaac and Connor. All of that, and he really did take it seriously.
Well, and Gerardo is one of those dudes that, during practices in the fall, when it was still pretty warm when we first got here at the end of the summer, quite often, training staff wasn't able, especially before the students got here, training staff. Miss Jamie wasn't always be able to be out there right away because she's still taping ankles and getting stuff put together. So I'd always fill water bottles, and the specialists, while everybody's out in the field doing stuff, the specialists are on the sidelines. They're doing what they need to do, practice their long snap and their punting and their kicking into nets and things like that. But G always made sure that I wouldn't have to do that alone.
Is that right?
Oh, he would just,
jump right in.
He'd run right over and he'd start helping me as much as I could to keep the other guys hydrated and keep them from getting sick.
Oh, and he, you're right. He does play baseball. He's a catcher for the Warriors on the baseball team. They start their season, I think, in February, and they travel south quite a bit. It's hard to play baseball this far.
That's good. So hopefully about the time that that this comes out, that he's sitting out in Colorado with his family, enjoying some things.
Gerardo and Mary, his parents, then his sister Yasmin, and brother Ivan, and nephew EJ. Again, these guys love their nieces and nephews. Plans on going into coaching and personal coaching if he can, and he just is really dedicated to trying to make those players better at whatever it is, particularly football and baseball, and also understanding the recruiting process.
Yeah, he's an exceptional
and I think
person.
He's also, isn't he? Is he Tongue Taco guy?
He was the La Lengua.
Lengua. So yeah. So when he comes back from Colorado,
I told him I got tongue.
You've got the tongue. He needs to know. He said he would have to revisit them to know how to do it, and then his mom kicks him out of the kitchen.
So he's home for Thanksgiving, this long break, and I should send him a text saying,
let him know.
Just bring the recipe back.
Yeah.
Or your mom.
Yeah.
And then
one or the other. Yeah.
Or both.
Yeah. We could FaceTime but can you imagine? I have to do it myself. Yeah, that'd be fun.
That would be good.
All right. So then we go, we got Rafe Van Dusseldorp. He is wearing number 43 this season.
Yeah, the old
McCoy
Yakel.
Mm-hmm. Pretty certain that, but in fact, he said it on the program here that he looks better in number 43 than Yakel did.
Well, and speaking of which, last Saturday, that McCoy Yakel that used to wear number 43 before Rafe did got himself married to a local gal.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, and so that was quite the event.
You were there, and I saw you after I got back from the Dort game, and just a great reception. Lots of people, lots of love in that room.
Yep,
and you can tell.
A lot of former players were there. Nico Marasco flew back from California.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I
didn't see him.
Well, and you know what? He walked right up to me and just got a smile on his face, and I'm like, "Hi," and he's like, "What's up, Coach?"
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, "Nico."
Yeah.
So it gave me a huge hug, and the dude's in law school.
Good.
Yeah, the world needs more lawyers.
Well, I don't know about that, but it's good for him. He gets there's an example of the academic quality of Warriors there.
Yep.
He played 2 years. I don't think that's. I feel like Rafe was here all 4 years. He played 2 years.
Yes, he was. He's graduating. He spent a year. He was kind of medically retired.
Yeah.
But he was able to come back this year and put some time in on the field. And Rafe is just one of those guys that he's Mr. Dependable.
Yeah.
And it's his brother Jack played here as well. His brother was 55. But Rafe comes from quality.
Yeah.
His family down in that Garner area is so highly respected, and Rafe is just a great example of that. Just a outstanding young man. Just Scott and Angie down there in Garner, and Angie did quite a few of those treats on the away games. She did
with that. So
over at Briarcliff, they had to leave early, so my wife got put in charge of that.
Oh yeah,
Angie came out and said, "Hey, are you going to be around the whole game?"
Yeah,
like, all right, come back to my car because I got some stuff for you.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, so it's see Rafe graduate and go on to. He's a business major, so.
He's going to do great things regardless of what he gets into. He's a driven young man. He's just, again, he's top shelf human.
Absolutely. Kai Angelo, Big Kai Robinson.
Number 99.
Played 2 years for the Warriors.
Big dude. Gosh.
And he came from, did he come from Iowa? No, where did Kai, we talked to him. Where did he come from? He came from he transferred in.
Yeah, I can't remember 100%, but
look it
up. Kai is just kind of one of those guys that it was funny because at the meeting on Monday, I was in talking to Coach Chapa about, what we need to get for, let's start ordering stuff so we don't have to last minute anything. And Kai comes in and starts talking to Coach Chapa, and Coach Chapa goes, "Why are you yelling at me?" He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." He's just a loud dude.
Oh,
he's a big man.
Yeah.
He's a whole lot of human, and but he's beautiful inside and out. I can't say enough good things about Kai.
Minnesota State Community College.
That's
we talked about that.
That's right.
Played D-line, big man there, number 99. Didn't play last game. I think he was not ship shape. I think he had an ankle or something going on.
Yeah, well, that part of the season, I'll tell you what, we had so many guys banged up. Everybody's hurt that time of year, but Kai is just, again, he's every time I walk in the locker room, he always makes sure that he would say hello. So I'm going to miss Kai like crazy. He's just again.
Yeah. He played 5 games last year, 4 this year, total of 9. I felt like he was on the field more than that. So, big man in there, 15 tackles. So probably not as many as maybe he wanted, but I tell you, he's a hard man to get around. So,
well, you can't push him around. I don't know what it says on the roster, like if he weighs 350, but
yeah, it does.
Yeah, I think I think that's a little light.
Is that right?
Big dude.
He is.
He is a big dude.
And he's a sports management guy. He's wants to be a coach after he graduates. And I'm sure that he'll find a coaching position with the kind of knowledge that he's got. Ultimately desires to be an AD. But yeah, he was the guy that caught that Skymaster punt from Burgett.
That might have been one of my highlights.
That was his highlight. Yeah.
Yeah, because I tell you what, and I always kind of feel bad because they put the big men back there, sometimes when they do that. And I feel like, what are you trying to make fun of these guys? They're athletes.
Right.
And Kai is not just like some loaf.
Yeah.
And so when of course, that first punt.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, Burgett got a hold of that thing and it went about 3 miles in the air and, about 60 yards. And there wasn't any getting underneath that.
Yeah.
So luckily Coach Job said, all right, we'll try this again. And so he got under it and plunk, just nailed it. Yeah. Everybody went crazy. That was a lot of fun.
A lot of people have that as one of their best memories of this season when we talked about it on Warriors Live. Here's a guy that we've heard the name quite a bit. Brother on the team, big impact player, played the last 2-3 games with torn labrum, and so insisted on being out there talking about case and handle. senior safety, and number 4.
Yeah.
Played for Waldorf for 5 years. And this dude's got honors all over the former conference we were in, the NSAA. He had all conference honors there in his career a bunch of times. He's a team captain, obviously, for good reason. And he wants to be a coach, and I can see that he's going to have high expectations of whatever team he's in. He's a coach of for sure.
Yeah. Jill and Dave, his folks. Dave is. I see that they're in the second round of the playoffs down in Tomball.
Yeah.
So congratulations to Coach Handel down there. But Kaysen, you really can't talk about Kaysen without talking about a kid that just, he's kind of just Waldorf football.
Yeah.
He's hard as far as he's a competitor just right down to his soul. An amazing guy. Super friendly all the time.
Mm-hmm.
He's not like a man of being goofy, jumping around.
Yeah,
he's all business.
Yeah,
for the most part, but he's fun to be around. And Kaysen, we're going to feel his absence next year. He was just that guy back there that he knew the program, he knew the defense, he knew what everybody was supposed to do, and he's just he's a leader.
Yeah.
I mean, he's 100% leader. He's going to be a coach someday.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll bet my bottom dollar on it, but he's class all the way through.
100%. Of course, his brother Keegan, number 44 on the team, also a leader in the backfield there. Yeah, we're going to miss Kaysen and the direction that he provides. And I think he likes it around here. From what I understand, Kaysen likes this little town in the North Country. So
yeah, let's trap him here.
Yeah, keep him up here. That'd be wonderful.
Absolutely.
We need more folks from Tomball here in Forest City.
Do you know anybody from Tomball that's not quality?
No, I mean, we've got 4 people here that are into 5 people. That's right. Thanks. 5 people. Yeah, they're all quality.
Yeah, we got the Handles, we got the Mays, we got Derek Taylor.
Yes.
Who really came on.
He sure did, didn't he?
Holy smokes, the kid's going to be a superstar for us. I can't wait to see next year. But
yeah.
And then if nothing else, and understandably, the current coach Handel down in Tomball is super busy coaching a huge program, a very successful program down there. And it was great that Jill could come up here and walk with her son on that, but knowing that Dave is down there, but yeah, I can't wait to see what Kaysen does the rest of his life. It's gonna
his grandparents were here too, Gail and Mike Guevara, and then his uncle Jeff was up for senior day too. So yeah, just a tough family, big football family, high expectations. Sorely missed there. Another one that you talk about walking out of the locker room. That's tough. Speaking of tough, this next one's not any easier. You got Gavin Johnson. Boy, his season came to an end this year very unexpectedly. Took it very well. Of course, he had that compound fracture and surgeries to follow. He was there at senior day, O-lineman, here all 4 years. From Urbandale, as you like to say.
Yes, Urbandale, Iowa. And his mother came in, I think she was from San Diego.
Okay.
And mom wasn't not at all digging the cold weather.
Oh, yeah?
It was a colder day, obviously, on that senior day. And, Gavin's got all sorts of hardware in his leg now.
Yeah.
And all he could really do is sit. He sat in our little Toro work cart, and then he started getting cold, and he ended up leaving early. But he was one of those dudes that, I was really, really excited to see him after his accident. But yeah, Gavin is he's one of those dudes that, he started off just growing the most righteous mustache anybody's ever seen, and then he turned it into a beard as well. And
yes.
And again, Gavin was one of those guys. And it's funny because as I'm talking about each one of these players, I'm looking at their locker. I mean, I could get close to what the number is, but I know exactly where their lockers are.
Yeah.
And most of the guys are like that this time of year, but those players, those exceptional people that are seniors that have been around a long time, I know that I walk out my door, I take a right, it's first locker on the first stack.
Yeah.
That was kind of the spot. Last year that was Cade Kloster-Hodak's spot, who was another, icon of Waldorf offensive line.
Yes.
And I'll tell you what, Gavin, he was just always there. And I still remember thinking, what in the name of all is this tiny little guy out here playing offensive line? And it's technique. It's technique. And he wasn't a small guy. Don't get me wrong.
6'3", 270. He's not that small.
No, but still, it's like, when you think of an offensive left tackle, you're thinking, 6'4", 395 or something like that. But he moved well.
Yeah.
He had high expectations of himself.
Yeah.
I was just sick that his season ended the way that it did. But that's football. And he gets that. But always has a great attitude.
Yeah, number 73 is that number. He's going to be sorely missed, and I do mean sorely. He's probably more sore about it with that broken leg than we are, but we are definitely gonna miss him. Like I said, he handled it with just just great character. And here's the thing: when you're 6'3", 270 and athletic, and you talk about technique and footwork, and you look at a guy like Gavin Johnson, and then you compare our linemen, and then you look at the linemen in the GPAC that we're so fond of, you need half a dozen or more Gavin Johnsons, because that's what we're going up against. We're going up against guys like Gavin Johnson who are they're not it's not like the teams. Some of them are pretty tall guys and carrying a lot of weight, but they're all very athletic and they're all very fit and they all move. And so Gavin was one of those guys. It was quite a difficult loss in that point of our season.
Yeah, left a gaping hole in our offensive line, and luckily we had some young guys back there to step in and do their absolute best. But
I think he's going to do all right after graduation, though. He's a finance, banking, and marketing guy. He's going to be in the business world, and I think he, we'll see where that takes him. And he's from the great metro area of Des Moines, so he's going to have plenty of opportunities. We'd love all these guys to stick around Forest City if we could, but he's going to do just great. And like you said, Dottie and Garrett and his sister and brother-in-law were up there on Saturday and everything like that.
Well, so. And he's coming back to finish school and walk. So it's going to be good to see him.
Yes.
This next semester. So
yeah. Even in his profile pic on the team on the roster, he's got that smile. He's smiling there.
He's something else for sure.
Another guy who smiles
a lot
and just has a very just a very lovable demeanor is quarterback that we've had for one season and came in to us. Is a number 15, big, tall, 6'7", 6'6". I don't know exactly. I could look it up. Lou Williams. Lewis has been our quarterback and really. And he had an injury too. He didn't start on Saturday, but came in and played the whole second half, I think.
Yeah, he did. He's a competitor, obviously. Lou is just one of those guys that, as it's always interesting in the fall when we have all the new people on campus, and Lou, being a transfer from Graceland, came up here.
Yeah,
and he just like, who is this? The superstructure of a man.
6'5", 205 pounds, incredibly mobile.
Yep, absolutely. He's an athlete. He's a quarterback's quarterback. And Lou is just, again, he's such a positive dude, Obviously he has high expectations of himself and, but he was always willing to learn. And, Coach Cooper, was with him a whole bunch. But, always a smile on his face.
Absolutely. very nice to talk to. He's been on the show here, and then he's, of course, on Warriors Live. Fun to talk to him there as well. The roster has him listed as redshirt junior, and that's a little bit confusing because he is a senior. He's been in college a while. He's kind of the end of the class of the COVID eligibilities. And so I don't know if he was correctly listed as redshirt junior eligibility-wise. I know he had some questions about that. I asked him, I said, hey, we recognize you on senior day. Are you coming back? And he says it kind of depends on how they view the COVID year.
Yeah, the NAIA has to make a decision on him. Would be great to have Lou back.
Absolutely, but, just that experience.
Yeah, again, unfortunately, we got talent behind him too.
Yes, we do. Yeah.
So, but still, Lou had obviously we didn't win any football games under Lou or anybody else for that matter. But he's a competitor.
Well, he was as efficient as most of the quarterbacks that we came across in the in the GPAC this season. He played 10 of the 11 games. He had 105 completions, over 1,200 yards. So nothing to sneeze at there.
No, absolutely.
And then
not.
rushing, we have to make a mention of that. And these get a little bit skewed because in the last couple of games, he's got credit for 271 yards rushing. However, I believe he's probably got more like 300 or 400 because I'm not talking about sideways. Last couple of games, they've been pretty rough on our quarterbacks, and they've taken both he and Chris were in the negatives a couple of games. So that's frustrating. I think he lost some yards there, but still incredibly mobile, and that's something that we need.
For sure. Yeah. Lou, again, hopefully something can get happen and we can talk about him next year on a senior salute and say, well, he had a year of eligibility. But again, that's not up to us. Because if it was up to us, we'd just go through and, have a bunch of 40-year-olds playing.
Yeah, right. Yeah. There's hope, Andy. There's hope. Still got that eligibility now.
That's right.
I think, he's a business major. And he's going to go do great things. His personality is just so easy to get along with, very likable. No matter what he does, he's going to be successful. I think he's also interested in coaching at some point, too, so we'll see where that takes him. But Lou Williams, Jakeem Brock played for Waldorf for 2 years as a D-back. Here's a guy that you'd say is undersized, but he is is a wasp out there.
Yeah,
is probably a good way to describe him. He just can zoom in, find where he just is where he needs to be, and then just takes you out.
Yeah, he's a serious player. Obviously, and Jakeem, number 3, out there in the defensive backfield. Again, another great human being.
Yeah.
He's a team leader. He was out there, saying the right things. There were times when early in the season when some things came up that was a not, I don't want to say an issue, but there were team decisions that need to be made. And Jakeem doesn't have a problem standing up and just basically saying exactly how it is.
Mm-hmm.
And again, just a fun dude to be around.
We gained from Iowa Wesleyan's loss when they shut down and picked up Jakeem. He's come to us. He's played the last 2 years. He's played all the games, 21 games that he's played in. Dude's got a total of 119 career tackles, and that comes from 2 seasons. So just nailed it. 62 tackles this season, 57 last year. And I mean, let's see. He's got 4 interceptions in his career, 10 breakups. He's just everywhere. And the guy is, like we said, he's only 5'8" and 160 pounds.
Yeah, that might be a stretch. No, just again, these. As we go through this list of people, it's just like, wow, it's gonna be rough walking in the locker room, for spring ball, not seeing a guy like Jakeem.
Right.
That's always, again, he's not loud, he's not super animated, but I'll tell you what, he's always got positive things to say, and he's always super friendly. Just again. Another amazing human,
and he's an aggressive guy. He's going to do well in finance. His chosen career field is a business admin and finance major, and he's going to get into the finance business. And I'm sure he's going to do great there for sure. His mom, Rhonda, came down, and I was escorting him accompanying him on the senior day there, and so it's just great to see her as well, and yeah,
you bet. And then he'll be a rich man. So Jakeem, when you
that's right, Jakeem.
When you think about your
can't
time,
give it to Iowa Wesleyan.
That's right.
I got to go to Waldorf.
That's right. Remember the gridiron.
That's right.
Remember the gridiron.
Jared Goodman is an O-lineman. He played a year for Waldorf. He's been here a while, though. He's a sports management major, plans to become a football coach at the high school, college level after graduation. Andy.
Yeah, Jared, number 68, came in here, and he's kind of one of them round pegs.
Yeah,
he just fit in with what we're doing. He took a hand injury. He got his hand broke earlier in the season, and the last few games, he got out there with his cast on and wrapped her up, and gave her everything that he got.
Yeah.
Jared's just he's one of those really personable guys that he's not shy. He'll walk right up and talk to you about pretty much anything.
Another guy who's 6'4", 270 in that Gavin in that Gavin Johnson kind of body frame there, out of Minnesota, and came to us from Central Lakes College, but he's been here a while.
Yeah, and that's again Jared's going to be, again, the offensive line area is kind of the fun area because they're a little bit more quiet, but well, unless you're talking about Jacoby Mays.
Then it's
that guy.
All bets are off.
He's loud.
But he also, it's just too bad. You just gotta with offensive linemen, there are just no stats.
No,
unless they get it. Then occasionally they'll have a tackle. So like your career stats would be like 2 tackles.
Yeah, that's just terrible.
Yeah.
But again, these guys know going in that
right.
It's not about their glory.
Yeah,
and that's what makes offensive linemen some of the best people.
Nolan Frowine is an Iowa native from Iowa Falls. He tight end, number 85, 6'4", 255. Boy, that's not how he showed up at Waldorf a few years ago.
He was a tiny dude, and number 85, Nolan. I had it in my head that he had another year of eligibility.
Yeah, well, it's the same. He's a senior, legit, and I'll tell you what.
I don't want him to be a senior if it matters.
So, and there's Jared Goodman is a senior too, and he's going to graduate and move on,
Yeah,
I
get that.
So, I think Jared does have some eligibility left, but you see, he's heading into the business world. Nolan is also a business management and marketing major. He's already got it lined up. He's going to be a sales associate for Farm Bureau.
My gosh, that guy's gonna make some money.
Yeah, financial services in his hometown of Iowa Falls, where they also have a pizza ranch.
Ooh, chicken ranch.
I know where the pizza ranches are around the area.
Yeah. Nolan's just one of those guys that he had some bad luck with an injury. That was kind of tough to come back from. But like I still remember. A former coach here, I remember seeing him come out in the field in the fall, and I'm like, what did he eat?
What happened?
Yeah, and all they said is that Frowine is a unit.
Yes,
I mean, big dude, soft hands.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's kind of our George Kittle that when you needed somebody moved on the offensive line that he can get down there in that tight end slot and push people the heck out the way.
He had some injuries coming in this year a little bit. Didn't start right away. He just was recovering from some things. He's played a total of 14 games. He's been here longer than that, but like you said, he switched to that tight end position.
Yeah.
8 games last year of the 10, 6 of the 11 this year. He's got a total of 58 yards. Tight ends, you either use them or you don't, and we do rotate our tight ends, but he's been around and just always been a great addition to the Warrior program, and shows you that he's willing to go and do the work in the off season to make an impact on the field.
And I think he's got. I mean, hangs around quite a bit with Caden Peterson, and Caden's our other huge tight end that's going to be coming in. And if you'll remember from talking to Coach Donadio and Coach Ani that, his replacement will be Caden Peterson as far as, who we're going to put up there next year. And they said nothing but great things about Caden's development. And, Caden had an injury this year. So we were down to, who didn't have an injury this year?
Yeah.
I mean, my back hurt most of the year, so might well be me.
He's got some. He did have a kicking return back in last year. He did do some kicking.
Well, technically, Ray Van Dusseldorp had a kick return this year too.
That's right.
I don't remember what team it was, but that ball came at Ray for about 6,000 miles an hour and plowed him in the chest, and he grabbed it and went to the ground like he's supposed to do.
Yep, he sure did. He handled that perfectly.
Yeah, as perfect as can be.
On Saturday when we had the senior day, his mom Nicole was there, dad Nathan, stepmom Kate, his brother Nick, and sisters Lucy and Jenny were there, and so just big family support. They come up from Iowa Falls. It's not that far away, like an hour away, and maybe a little over an hour, and make it up to the games, go to where. And watch him play.
Nolan, we didn't know this until we first interviewed that he's mezzo soprano.
That's what you
and class.
You
treasurer.
Made that up. Yeah.
Class treasurer.
Yeah. I remember that. That was pretty good. Josh Mitchell, defensive back. He's been playing for Waldorf for 3 years. He is a criminal justice major. This is defensive back is going to come in handy, I think, in that career field. And after graduation, his plans include being the best dad ever. So he's got some other obligations and as well. And what can you say about Josh? He's
number 19, Josh Mitchell.
Yeah,
I tell you, Josh had some adversity this year.
Yeah,
and Josh rose above it. And Josh has that. He's one of those kids that he has a very special place in my heart.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna miss him.
Yeah, he had some things to get over, but like you said, you saw him really come on strong later in the season.
Pertinier had a pick six.
Yes, I know.
Ran out of gas.
Well, and he did have an interception this year. It wasn't a pick six, but that's what you're talking about.
It could have been.
Yeah.
If he was a little faster, a little bit better shape. Because he sat, I don't know if he had to sit out, and Josh, you're going to have to call me and let me know if I'm wrong here, but didn't you have to sit out like 2 or 3 series after that because you're still tired for running like 80 yards?
Yeah. We really saw him this year. I mean, he played 7 of the 11 games.
He played so well.
He did. He did his job, and that's what you have to do in that position. So 14 total tackles this season. Didn't see him much last year, only played 2 games. He got an interception. He gained 52 yards. He's gotten a breakup. He's just doing what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, exactly. He went back there, and being a senior season, he knew this was his last ride.
Yep.
And I've had a lot of moments with Josh, and I guess one that stands out that'll ever kind of have a special place in my heart is after the game, the senior day game that we introduced. Obviously, it wasn't our last game, but just to have that moment with Josh, he was obviously upset.
Yeah.
We lost to Morningside, which was no big deal.
Yeah.
But, you always want to get that home victory. You always want to go out on your home field, but just being able to embrace him and just let him, get the emotion out.
Yeah.
Again, I love the kid to death. I really do. I don't know what it is about Josh, but we always made a connection. There's always a few of those dudes on the team that, they tug at my dang heartstrings, and I hate that, but I love it. He's one on a long list of dudes that the reason that I keep coming back to wash uniforms and fix helmets is guys like Josh Mitchell.
Well, I couldn't put it any better than that. That's for sure. How about this guy?
What do you not say about the best looking kid on the team?
Well, I mean, I think he would agree with that.
But
I think your team might agree with that.
Well, I don't know. Kai Angelo might not.
Yeah. George Rivera. Or Jorge.
Well, on Saturday at Dort, he was Jorge as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, just local kid, Mason City.
Yeah.
George is always just like this bright shining spot.
Yes.
It's just he's a worker. He's tough. He's stronger than an ox.
Yeah.
He's not the biggest dude ever, but as far as, he's not super tall, but he's super strong.
5'10", 180, and very fast.
Oh,
He's a state track runner there. He was at Clear Lake and at Mason City. He graduated from Mason City. You see him around all summer, this past summer here in Forest City. Wide receiver, just a solid player. He also had some injuries at the beginning of the season, and it was good to see him. He wanted to get in, but we just we did get him in quite a bit in the last half of the season, which was great. Again, when you're a receiver, man, I tell you what, it's tough when you've got a big room of very talented receivers, and especially if you've been here a while, the last couple of years, there's some big names out there that are no longer here that graduated last year.
Yeah.
So it's hard to get a lot of stats. He played 9 games this year and last year. So he didn't miss a whole lot of games. 430 career receiving yards on 36 receptions. So he does pretty good. His average was 11 yards, almost 12 yards per reception. That's first down material every time.
Well, and he came on last year.
Yeah.
People weren't expecting George.
Yeah.
And so they were focusing on Dom, and they were focusing on Malik, and George just was that guy that, they probably underestimated his speed and his moves.
Yeah.
And because he has all that. And so, he came on, and again, he's always, he lockered right outside of my room down there in the locker room. And, dude always has a smile on his face.
Well, when you're that good looking, it's pretty easy to smile.
I tell you.
Smile back at the mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got 276 return yards as well, because he's always in the back.
He's always been there returning, and he's a do-it-all kid.
He is, and he'd average 17 yards there for his returns in his career, and some punt returns as well. So just wherever you need him, you need a fast guy that's got good hands.
Yeah,
that's where we put him.
And a hard nose.
Yeah,
he gives everything.
And he's a Dean's List kind of guy too, so it's not just all looks. He's got the grade on. He's got the grades and the brains to go with it. He's a health promotion, exercise science guy. He's gonna go off to, is it physical trainer?
Yeah,
he'll be a trainer.
If you remember when we interviewed him, he's big into taking care of himself.
Yeah,
so he's into the exercise and diet and all that stuff, and. I can't wait to see him in 40 years. I won't be alive in 40 years.
Oh, yeah. Well, if you keep up with George,
that ain't going to happen.
Yeah, he's just a great. And I've had the opportunity to meet his folks, his dad, George, mom, Amber. He had his grandma Rosie and his grandpa Daryl and his brothers Jacob and Justin, and his uncle Justin. They were all there on Saturday. They travel in a caravan, and they're there to support him for obvious reasons. So well loved, and I look forward to seeing him around the community. I hope he doesn't move too far. I hope he doesn't leave the area. I'd like to see George around the North Iowa area.
George is a man of character.
Absolutely. Sure. Bryce Jones, we're getting to the end. We got one more after this, but Bryce Jones is a wide receiver. Played 2 seasons as a Warrior for us. He's Offensive Player of the Week last year against Mayville State. He's a sports management major. And, what do you got to say there about Bryce?
Number 6, Bryce Jones, the happiest person I may have ever met in my life. Even when things seem to go bad, he doesn't have bad words to say. He's a glass is half full, if not overflowing in everything. And, Bryce is also a father, and had the opportunity to meet his son a couple times. He actually brought him in the locker room on senior day, and again, Bryce is just that shining spot, super dude, and again, he's he reminds you a bit of George in the fact that he's about the same height as George.
Yep.
But at the same, and still super strong. He's a workhorse. You see that picture of him there. He's smiling like the day is long, and that's just how he is. I had the opportunity to meet his mom, earlier in the season, I was like after practice, and I think she was taking care of his boy, and
Alondria.
Yeah, and all I said was,
Alondria.
I told his mom, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for letting us have him for a little while, because he's one of just the greatest guys I've been around in a long time. And Bryce is class act from top to bottom.
Yeah, and he gets after it too. I mean, he's like the offensive version, I suppose, in a lot of ways of Jakeem Brock. Just gets after it.
Yeah.
Gets in there. He's where he needs to be, and the proof is in the pudding. Played 2 seasons, 18 games total. He's got a 667 yards career receiving, and you can. His average went down a little bit this year, stiffer competition. He had 16.8 average yards per reception last year, 15-1 this year. This is a first down kind of guy.
Yeah.
And 4 touchdowns, just all around very, very solid player. You look forward to seeing number 6 out on the offense. And when the guns were slinging, you could expect that he'd come up with it. So
I always love to hear Bryce laugh.
Yeah,
I mean, that's something that I'm going to miss about that locker room, is that he's got one of the most genuine, heartfelt laughs you've ever heard. That's great.
Well, now here's a guy who's also not too far away. You've got Isaac Burgett, the punter, and a pretty celebrated punter in the GPAC. We'll see how things turn out. He did a lot of punting this year.
He did,
but last year, first team All NSAA Conference Special Teams punter Isaac Burgett comes to us from the Emmons area.
Yeah,
and he's. He came to us actually as a running back, and sometimes we get to see him do that. Apparently, he gets to call that play when he feels like there's an opportunity, and by golly, the 2 times that I've seen him do it, he's gotten a first down.
Yeah, he had the fake punt against Dakota Wesleyan.
Yeah.
And so he took off and ran out of bounds. And, of course, everybody's going crazy.
Yeah.
And I just stay away from him. I want to come up and congratulate him after everything, all the mayhem has settled down. And he's like, he comes up and he's like, hey, coach, do you think I was kind of I'm not going to say the word, for running out of bounds? I said, yes. And he's like, I thought so. I should have just turned into him and just, gave him heck. But we don't need an all-conference punter to get hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't blame him for doing what he did. But again, Bergie is that guy on the sideline. I spend a lot of time with the specialists, because like when I'm at practice, I'm not out in the field, telling guys technique.
Right.
I'm just standing there waiting for somebody to break something, and so obviously, Isaac and G and Connor are always kind of hanging around there. So I spend a lot of time talking to them, and we're fortunate in the fact that Isaac's still in the community. He's working at Waldorf.
He is. He's going to be he's already got it lined up. The director of intramural recreation.
He's doing it now.
Residential area coordinator, whatever that is.
Yeah.
And then he's also personal training at Freedom Fitness here in Forest City. Wants to coach football, and I can understand why. Still loyal, goes back, takes Gerardo back with him. They go and watch the old high school team up in Minnesota,
at least once a year.
And so it's just a cool experience, and very fit, very serious, fun guy, very nice, and somebody that he just embodies the character of a warrior. Somebody that says, "Hey, I know you came as a running back, but we want you to punt," and then excels at that particular job in first team All NSAA conference last year, and then just a buttload of punts this year. I mean, the kid's leg was exercised. Yeah.
At one time, more than halfway through the season, he was number 8 in the nation in average yards per kick. Yeah, and then the fall wind started, and some of those things.
Yeah,
tough. Obviously there's things like the Dort game isn't going to help his average, but you know what? It's like his body work is pretty great, and Bergie is he's hilarious. He's one of those guys that he's
got a good sense of humor.
Oh, yes, he
dry.
does.
Yeah,
and the specialists are kind of the guys that they know they don't have to get out there and make the tackle or make the catch or, get the block or anything like that necessarily. Well, I mean, obviously G has got to go down and make some tackles from time to time, but they are on these guys all the time, giving them all sorts of guff. I mean, it's fun to listen to.
I mean, it's a bittersweet statistic to have tremendous numbers as a punter. You want to have a punter that you need there. That's an ace position. You want them to be able to pin it down in the right spot. There's lots of different techniques to get that ball to the side of the field or in where you want it to be. Lots of stats go along with punting, and then you hope you never have to see him out there because you want to just keep driving the offense. But the good news is for him when it comes to that leg has punted for 5,174 yards and averaging nearly 35 yards. His longest punt, 66 yards. That came this season. And in the 20, he's had 43 inside the 20 and just touchbacks. He's had 10, so he can kick it way out there. He has had, last year he was perfect, no blocked punts. This year, before that, I guess back in 22-23, he had 2. Yeah. And this year he shattered all of those records, and he got 5 of his punts blocked, and I know he was frustrated by that. But even so, this year, lots of punting, 2,600 yards total, and he's played every game the last 3 years, and 8 the first is a freshman. So, that's a guy that we're gonna miss. You got to have that is a skill position, and you got to have that figured out. Look, the GPAC's not going away, so that we're gonna be punting. I expect we'll probably punt once or twice now.
Yeah, he's gonna be hard to replace, and that's those things you don't think about a whole lot.
Yeah.
Like you got Gerardo graduating, you got Burgett graduating, and it's like we need a long snapper and a punter.
Yeah,
there, fellas. And how do you go out and look for that?
I'll tell you, if I'm a player and I'm on the team right now, and I'm looking at my depth chart, and I'm like, hey, I got the heart of a warrior, but the reality is I may not be where I need to be in the depth chart.
Yeah,
I'd be looking at, do you have that skill set too? And because that's where we got them both,
and it's not easy.
No, it's something you got to work on, and they obviously put in the effort and took it pretty seriously. And thankful for it, for all those. His, mom and dad came down. Don and Jarvis, his sister was there. His grandma Jackie Holst came down, and so to be there with him on senior day. And folks, those are the 14 seniors that we recognized on senior day. It's a great way to wrap up our season without having to talk about every game. We all were there. We watched it. The support that we give, that you give, not just to the Gridiron Club, but most importantly to the players and the coaches for this program. That's why we do it. That's what this podcast is all about. We had a lot of fun through the summer. We made fun of a lot of those teams. Every single one of them beat us, and and I don't care. We'll figure out what we'll do.
That is correct.
We're not done with this season. The new season we'll still keep on plugging away. Looking forward to a nice Thanksgiving. Safe travels to all of our listeners. Safe travels to all of our players, as they are now, many of them on the road or hopefully already at home or in the air, however they're getting to where they're going. God bless every one of them. Our coaching staff, the travails and the effort that they've put in. Look, it's been a hard season for everybody. We've had a lot of injuries. It's time to get healthy.
Yep. It's
time to get right. Take 14 weeks off. Hopefully everybody did well on their finals this week.
You better.
We come back in January. They'll come back. We'll still be here.
Yeah, we ain't going.
They'll come back in January, and we'll be ready to rock and roll
for sure. So yeah, that's a pretty good wrap up, and it's a good. Hopefully, we didn't miss anybody. I don't think we did. Whatever.
No.
But yeah, I'm excited already for spring ball.
Yep.
It's gonna tell us a whole lot. Who's putting in that work. So, players, if you're listening to this, get out there, get the work done.
100%.
We need you. Not just get the work done in the weight room, get the work done in the classroom, because we're counting on you, because next year's a new year, because we're already looking forward to that game in late August. It's closer than what you think.
Absolutely. So that's it. That's the wrap for, I guess, our review of the season. We'll be back. We'll have a Thanksgiving episode for next week for what do they call it? Black Friday for that, whatever that is going to be.
Yeah, sure.
And so we'll have that episode. And if you want to send a message to the team, if you want to send a message to your kid, if you're listening to this, or if you're just a listener of the Gridiron Club, this is the time to do it. Just send an email to president at waldorfgridironclub.org.
Yes. And
I'll read it, and we'll get it on the Thanksgiving episode. So that's a good way to, send your best wishes and things you're thankful for and all of that stuff. And we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, next time you hear our voice, you'll be full of turkey, watching football and all sorts of stuff. So, yeah, folks, it's not been the season that we wanted, but it's the season that we got, and whether it was good or bad, it doesn't matter, because through and through, these are our kids and these are our warriors, and it's been nothing but an honor and a pleasure this year to bring you this podcast and have you talk to some of these kids. So we'll call that a wrap. For Troy Thompson, this is Andy Buffington. Forever and always, go Warriors.
You can join the Waldorf Gridiron Club and be part of the best small college football experience in America.
Just visit our website and pick your membership level. Find us and everything Waldorf Gridiron Club related, including professional photos, at waldorfgridironclub.org.
You can also click on the Support the Show link in the show notes to donate.
And you can even use the United States Postal Service by sending your check to the Waldorf Gridiron Club, P.O. Box 125, Forest City, Iowa, 50436.
It's tax exempt, hassle-free, and has a level for every budget.
That's right. Anyone can join, even our rivals.
Show your colors. Join the Gridiron Club today.
Get it?
Got it. Fantastic.
The Waldorf Gridiron Club podcast is hosted by Andy Buffington and me, Troy Thompson. Produced by Sunnyside Farm Studios in beautiful rural Forest City, Iowa. Platformed by Buzzsprout and music by Soundstripe. The Waldorf Gridiron Club is a 501c3 nonprofit organization dedicated to the student athletes of the Waldorf University football program. Our mission is to assist the program in maintaining the best small college football experience in America.
We sing to Waldorf and the Warriors bold. We're proud because they wear the purple and the gold. They don't fight to make a name, they just fight for Waldorf fame. Rah, rah, rah. Go team, fight team, victory tonight. We will cheer for you, so fight, fight. Win the game, your pride will show through. We sing to Waldorf and the Warriors bold. We're proud because they wear the purple and the gold.